Dinar Shift. We are diving deep into a financial development today that has captivated currency watchers around the globe, focusing on the Iraqi dinar and the remarkable shift in its perceived valuation. For years, a certain segment of the financial community has held on to the hope of a significant revaluation for the IQD, a movement that would fundamentally alter the monetary landscape for Iraq and its currency holders. The expectation has often been viewed with skepticism, but recent remarks from a high-profile American political figure have thrust the conversation into the public spotlight with unprecedented intensity. This is a story of economic transformation and global politics intersecting at a crucial moment for a sovereign nation's currency. The genesis of this sensational news lies in a direct, unscripted interaction involving President Donald Trump. While addressing the media on matters concerning discussions with Middle Eastern partners, specifically Iraq, he offered a brief but potent comment that was instantly magnified by financial media and social platforms. His precise words, according to reports, were a clear declaration. Iraq is finally fixing their currency. They're bringing it back up about $1 now. This simple phrase, delivered by a former head of state of one of the world's most dominant economies, immediately ignited a firestorm of discussion and validation within investor circles who have long followed the dinar's trajectory. The profound significance of a former U.S. president publicly mentioning a parity rate of about $1 for the Iraqi dinar cannot be overstated. In the highly speculative world of currency holding, where official statements are rare and rumors abound, this external and prominent confirmation serves as a major turning point. It moves the narrative from purely speculative hope into a realm of confirmed high-level awareness and potential international coordination. The acknowledgement of a dollar-level valuation suggests a strategic and deliberate move towards a one-to-one market equivalence, a goal that has been the focal point of dinar investment conversations for a considerable time. To truly grasp the magnitude of this reported $1 rate, we must contextualize it against the dinar's long-standing exchange value. Historically, the Iraqi dinar has traded at a fraction of a U.S. penny, with rates hovering in the thousands of IQD required to purchase a single U.S. dollar. An official or internal shift to a 1 IQD to $1 USD rate represents a staggering multiplier increase in value. This would be a massive revaluation, essentially wiping out a significant portion of the zeros on the dinar's nominal value in international exchange terms. Consider the practical financial implications for anyone currently holding Iraqi dinar notes. A commonly circulated note, such as a 25,000 IQD denomination, which carries a minimal fractional dollar value at the pre-revaluation rate, would instantly command a market value of $25,000 USD if the rate is officially realized at parity. This instantaneous potential for a monumental financial shift has understandably sent a surge of excitement and focus across global currency communities. The transformation is not just monetary, but also a symbolic representation of a nation's renewed economic standing. However, the implications of this shift extend far beyond individual portfolios. A successful and dramatic revaluation to dollar parity signals a robust restoration of international confidence in Iraq's national currency and its central banking system. It positions Iraq as a much stronger and more stable participant in the global economy, providing a foundation for healthier trade, revitalized banking infrastructure, and the forging of new, stronger international partnerships. This is a move that could redefine Iraq's economic narrative after decades of financial instability and global conflict. This rumored financial adjustment is not an isolated event, but rather the culmination of years of diligent preparation and structural reform within Iraq's economic framework. The nation has been systematically working to update its central banking protocols, modernize its financial infrastructure, and align its monetary policy with international standards. This comprehensive restructuring is a prerequisite for a significant upward currency adjustment, ensuring the new value is grounded in stable economic reality, rather than a fleeting political maneuver. The timing of the former president's statement appears to coincide with specific, verifiable shifts in Iraq's internal financial operations. Economic analysts have pointed to the nation's most recent national budget, arguing that the financial figures reflected within the budget documents, specifically for major expenditures like infrastructure projects and public sector salaries, only become economically rational if an internally stronger dinar value is already being utilized. The old, publicly recognized exchange rate of approximately 1,310 IQD per USD simply could not reconcile the enormous budgetary commitments without implying a hidden, much stronger internal valuation. This structural observation has been labeled by some financial commentators as the hidden reveal. While the Central Bank of Iraq, CBI, has not made a definitive public proclamation of dollar parity for international exchange markets, the underlying data, combined with external high-level comments, suggests that the process is well underway internally. The evidence of financial restructuring, budget reconciliation, and now, external political acknowledgement, all weave together to form a clear picture of a currency on the brink of significant change. Adding another compelling layer to this complex story is the reported engagement of the United States in facilitating Iraq's currency stabilization efforts. It has been suggested that there is a quiet, concerted effort between the two nations to help bolster the dinar. By supporting a revaluation, the U.S. would indirectly be aiding Iraq's economic sovereignty, reducing its heavy reliance on the U.S. dollar for domestic and international transactions, and strengthening critical bilateral trade, particularly in the vital energy sector. Iraq's massive oil exports, which represent the backbone of its national economy, play a pivotal role in this revaluation process. The ability for Iraq to transact oil sales directly in IQD, rather than solely relying on the U.S. dollar as the default currency, grants the nation considerably more fiscal autonomy and leverage on the international stage. For currency holders, this underlying structural support is critical, as it indicates a move towards a real, sustainable value for the dinar, backed by tangible assets and international trade agreements, solidifying the economic base for any revaluation. The ripples of this impending financial shift are already being detected within the international banking community. Reports have surfaced indicating that several major U.S. banking institutions, including prominent names like Chase, Wells Fargo, and Bank of America, have been conducting internal system upgrades and foreign currency database modifications in anticipation of a new IQD rate. While these updates do not equate to public exchange availability yet, they represent a procedural necessity for banks to prepare their systems for compliance with U.S. Treasury regulations and to integrate the necessary security and transactional protocols for a future public rollout. The fact that major global banks are internally mobilizing to accommodate a new dinar value is a significant non-public confirmation that a functional change is imminent. This preparatory phase is a standard yet critical step that must precede the final public announcement and subsequent availability of exchange services. It serves as a strong signal to those who hold the currency. Be prepared, but understand that official systems, which ensure regulated and secure transactions, will only follow once the final governmental and regulatory approvals are securely in place. Back within Iraq, the sentiment on the ground is reportedly euphoric, with local media and citizens celebrating what is being dubbed the dawn of the new dinar era. Practical changes, such as the renewed usability of smaller denomination notes in daily transactions and reports of stabilizing commodity prices, are beginning to illustrate the real-world functionality of a more valuable currency. This psychological and practical impact of a currency regaining its inherent worth is vital for rebuilding public trust in the financial system, a foundational element that underscores the sustainability of this monetary reform. The global community has also responded, with measured but noticeable signals of approval. Public statements released by international financial institutions over recent weeks have commended Iraq's progressive monetary reforms and emphasized the country's movement towards normalization. While such financial jargon can often be overlooked in this context, terms like normalization and restructuring in global finance are deliberate diplomatic signals to the broader market, indicating that a currency's valuation is being adjusted to align with its true economic potential and market value. When one connects the threads of Iraq's adjusted national budget figures, the strategic shifts in banking infrastructure, the statements from international financial bodies, and the public comment from a former U.S. president, a clear picture emerges. There is a coordinated, high-level process in motion aimed at re-establishing the Iraqi dinar as a fully legitimate, recognized and tradable asset within the international currency markets, moving it beyond its previous status as a highly speculative holding. The specific timing of the former president's announcement is a particularly critical and intriguing element of this narrative. Recognized for his strategic use of public communication, his statement at this precise juncture likely serves multiple purposes. It offers essential reassurance to a global community of currency holders who have long awaited official confirmation. Projects confidence in the significant and often complex financial moves made by the Iraqi government and implicitly validates the strenuous efforts of international banking and trade negotiators working on the ground. By publicly referencing the about one rate, the political figure may also be strategically preparing the market for the forthcoming public rollout by major banks. This public soft launch of the news can help condition the global financial system for a historic economic change. Crucially, this event represents a major departure from the many years dominated solely by online rumor and speculation. The mounting evidence now points directly toward verifiable, coordinated international action. The visible readiness indicators are compelling. Central banking infrastructure is reportedly upgraded, and government initiatives are in place to ensure the necessary liquidity to support a higher valuation. Global and Iraqi banks are actively retooling their systems. This is not mere hearsay, but observable, actionable financial development that is both measurable in structural terms and appears to be imminent, demonstrating tangible progress toward revaluation. For currency holders worldwide, the key lessons that emerge from this complex sequence of events are preparedness and patience. The financial world is rife with opportunities for unofficial, speculative, or outright fraudulent schemes, particularly in anticipation of a major currency event. To mitigate risks, holders must focus on safeguarding their assets, thoroughly understanding the procedures of authorized banking institutions, and remaining vigilant against unofficial or unverified exchange processes. The ability to act decisively and correctly when the official public exchange window opens will be paramount. Diligent preparation, which includes knowing authorized banking protocols and staying current on official announcements, is the best strategy to ensure that holders can capitalize on this massive financial development without incurring unnecessary risk or exposure. This planned action, combined with unwavering patience, remains the essential directive for all involved. Looking beyond immediate gains, the potential realization of a $1 IQD rate carries significant geopolitical weight. A significantly strengthened Iraqi currency has the power to reshape regional trade dynamics, particularly within the Middle East, an area long accustomed to relying on the US dollar. Facilitating oil transactions directly in the Iraqi dinar naturally increases global demand for the currency, establishing a self-reinforcing, resilient economic ecosystem that solidifies its new value. This shift provides Iraq with a critical reduction in its vulnerability to the fluctuations of foreign currencies, promoting an era of enhanced long-term economic stability. For broader financial observers, this case serves as a tangible, real-world example of how a coordinated currency revaluation is intricately linked with strategic trade and economic policy on a global scale, offering a blueprint for other emerging market economies contemplating similar structural reforms. The potential ripple effects of a revalued IQD on global markets are an active topic of discussion among financial analysts. The new status of the IQD could impact traditional benchmarks like oil pricing, influence gold trading movements, and trigger reevaluations of regional investment strategies across the Middle East. As the Iraqi dinar gains new international stature, other emerging market currencies may also find themselves under renewed scrutiny, potentially creating systemic ripple effects across global foreign exchange markets. For the everyday Iraqi citizen, the practical benefits of this shift are immediate and tangible. A functional currency with a restored, realistic value directly translates into improved purchasing power, essential price stabilization for daily goods, and a renewed sense of confidence in national financial institutions. Furthermore, it encourages smoother domestic trade operations and significantly lessens the necessity to rely on foreign currencies for routine transactions, bolstering the national economy from its very foundation. These practical, on-the-ground improvements validate the underlying sustainability of the $1 valuation. From a purely structural perspective, Iraq has spent nearly 2 decades meticulously laying the groundwork for this moment. This preparation has involved the removal of older banknotes, the vigorous elimination of counterfeit money, and the controlled introduction of new, modern, and highly secure banknotes. The modernization of digital banking systems has been key, ensuring that the country's liquidity, central bank reserves, and transactional flows are robust enough to accommodate a revaluation of this magnitude without triggering destabilizing inflationary pressures. The estimated total currency supply, reportedly around 40 trillion Iraqi dinars, theoretically represents an astronomical sum of $40 trillion USD if converted at the $1 parity rate. It is crucial to understand that this figure represents the overall digital and governmental-controlled reserves backing the currency, not an immediate influx of physical cash at this level. This calculated, robust structure ensures that the dramatic increase in the currency's value is fundamentally sustainable and backed by verifiable national assets, not simply transient speculative fervor. The psychological impact of the former president's public statement is a huge development. After years of relying on anecdotal evidence and fragmented reports, an explicit public acknowledgement from such a prominent figure lends significant credibility to the entire revaluation narrative. It serves as a powerful reassurance to currency holders that the long-anticipated revaluation is not only real, but is coordinated at the highest levels of international finance and is demonstrably imminent, a confirmation that will undoubtedly be remembered as a defining moment in the history of currency revaluations. This situation perfectly illustrates the powerful confluence of high-level politics and intricate global finance. The international coordination efforts, paired with Iraq's determined domestic monetary reforms, have created the ideal conditions for a sustainable revaluation. The former president's role, irrespective of its direct or indirect nature, provides a crucial signal of confidence and readiness, while Iraq's fortified governmental and central bank structures ensure the new system can fully support the higher value. This strategic two-pronged approach makes the $1 rate credible and actionable. The imperative for currency holders now is a shift towards strategic readiness. This involves meticulously studying and internalizing the proper banking procedures, actively identifying authorized and secure exchange institutions, and establishing a plan to act swiftly and with precision once the official rollout is announced. This proactive planning, even amid the heightening global excitement, will determine whether individuals can successfully realize the opportunity presented by this historic financial shift. Patience, combined with foresight and a focus on official channels, remains the only sensible approach. Furthermore, we must continue to monitor the broader, long-term implications for the architecture of global finance. A fully functional and robust IQD has the potential to subtly challenge the traditional dominance of the US dollar in regional trade transactions, particularly within the strategically important oil market. By setting a precedent for using its own national currency for a major global commodity, Iraq could inspire and model a blueprint for currency empowerment that other nations in the region may be motivated to adopt. The ripple effects of this bold move must be carefully considered by all global investors. The timing of the official public access remains the final key piece of this complex puzzle. While all the essential internal systems, government reforms, and international coordination are reportedly aligned, the opening of exchanges for the general public will mark the undisputed commencement of the revaluation. Once authorized banks begin facilitating exchanges, market movement is expected to be rapid, demanding that currency holders are ready to execute their plans with knowledge and precision. Prior knowledge of both local and international exchange procedures is therefore absolutely essential to success. In conclusion, today marks a truly historic moment in the ongoing saga of the Iraqi dinar. The former president's statement regarding a $1 rate is much more than mere words. It is a profound external confirmation of a comprehensive and coordinated revaluation process that has been years in the making. The future implications for currency holders, Iraq's economic trajectory, regional trade relationships, and global financial markets are enormous and far-reaching. Vigilance, readiness, and a commitment to following official information channels will be the hallmarks of navigating this unprecedented financial opportunity. For all observers, investors, and the people of Iraq, the $1 rate represents not only a potential financial windfall, but the restoration of economic credibility and sovereign power. We will continue to track these developments with the highest scrutiny, providing up-to-the-minute updates, guidance, and critical analysis to ensure you are fully prepared for what may well be the most significant currency revaluation of the modern era.